It's been almost 2 years, but even though I didn't use a script, I'm pretty proud of my Pixar shorts ranking. It was a nice opportunity to bring some light to an underappreciated part of Pixar, so I decided to take a page out of their playbook and write off the first one's success and make a sequel. We're looking over Pixar's movie tie-in shorts. Most of these have come in as one of the bonus features of Pixar's DVD releases ever since Monsters, Inc. They're normally not as good as Pixar's average one-shot short, but I don't think they're supposed to be. They're just enjoyable little bonuses to let us spend a few minutes with our favorite characters, so why not take a look at them and find out which one's the best? I've got rules though. I'm not including the short series, as there's already multiple shorts within them, just all the ones in the list section on Wikipedia. Ah, what the heck, I'll include Toy Story tunes. There's only 3 of them, and they all came out in theaters, so it would feel incomplete without them. So let's get started with the countdown. So this is the Coco short, Dante's Lunch. I kinda forgot this existed, and in a weird turn of events, this came out months before the movie. It came out on YouTube and I saw it back then, and then I never saw it again. I can't really believe it counts, but it's on the Wikipedia page, so sure I guess. All that really happens is Miguel's dog Dante wants a bone that acts like the Moulineer, and it catches up with the skeleton, and wait, I thought the dead were supposed to go to the land of the living after sunset, like in the movie? There's really nothing else I can think of to write for this segment, so I'm just gonna go to the next one. Marine Life Interviews is a Finding Dory short where the newbies are interviewed and talk about their experiences with Dory, and ends with a little retort from Dory herself. I'm probably the biggest Finding Dory apologist on the planet, and I loved all the new characters, so I like seeing them have cute little interviews. The problem is that it really doesn't last long, as it's only a minute long, so there's unfortunately not much for me to latch onto. If it was a few minutes longer and included some of the other characters, I'd like it more, give the short that creature comforts vibes it's looking for. But overall, it's fine, I guess. I guess even I don't have that Finding Dory bias in me to put it higher. Miss Fritter's Racing School is the only short out of all the ones on this list that I've never seen before. I couldn't find it on YouTube, it wasn't on Disney+, I just watched it straight out of the bonus features of my Cars 3 Blu-ray. The mentioned movie's Miss Fritter is in a commercial about her racing school, and some of the participants are also in it to talk about how good it is. This one's a little better for being a minute longer, and makes for some decent gags, but there's still not much to say here. It's just an average short DVD extra, nothing more, nothing less. Now we're headed to the longer ones, so luckily we've got more substance on the way. The Inside Out short, Riley's First Date, is instead of focusing on Riley's emotions, it's focused on the dad's emotions, and all of Riley's emotions get 1 line each. I don't really know what the thought process was making that the short's focus. The scene in Inside Out showing the parents' emotions was just there for a gag to briefly show the minds of other characters, and making that a short kind of leaves behind some potential of what fun hijinks can go on at Riley's headquarters. Like maybe make one of the other emotions the main character, or satirize a trait about the mind and how they deal with that. There's an amazing fan-made short Silent Jack made last year that has the gang trying to get rid of an earworm song so Riley could focus on a test. And I'd much rather have that be the short than the real one. This short is decent, it's sometimes funny, and I like that we still get the Flea cameo, but not one I think I'll be watching for a 3rd time. George and AJ are the 2 guys from that one scene in Up, and this is a short about them. Once again, I don't know what the thought process was behind making this, but it actually was a little better than I remembered it being. I like their jaw-dropped expressions after seeing Carl's house fly away that they keep on all day. So they come out the next day hoping that that's the last shenanigans they'll see, except no, because Carl's act inspired the rest of the elders in the city to transform their houses into mobile homes so they don't go to retirement home. That alone is already funny, but it's even a little sweet seeing the elders seeing Carl as a hero that made them rise up when he was seen by the rest of the city as a public menace. I also kinda like that this one is in a storyboard style. That's kinda what I wanna do if I ever make a fan project of something. It's nothing too special, but not too bad either. I will have to dock points for Russell's voice at the end though, like woof.
That was so cool! Let's do that again, Mr. Fredrickson, but next time I want to steer.
I I liked the Soul short 22 vs. Earth a little more on my second time watching. It's another one that's not too special, just a prequel short about 22 rallying up other souls for a resistance movement, only for them to find their purpose so they can go to Earth and leave her behind. But I'd be lying if I said it still wasn't cute and funny. Like, I already found the little souls and the counselors funny in the movies, so good thing that I like them here.
As if Earth needs another politician.
It is one of the more pointless ones, and feels like there is so much more you could do with a Soul short film, but this is fine. I don't have anything much else to say about it, so let's move on. Doug's Special Mission is another one of those just cute and good ones where not a lot happens, and I guess it's really just dependent on whether you like these characters it focuses on. I mean, it's Doug and those other 3 dogs, of course you would. The one detail of the lore that this short provides is that the day he met Carl and Russell was on his birthday, which does allow us some more insight as to how this is the day Doug's life changed for the better and left his toxic environment. I'm also writing this on my mom's birthday, so, Mom, happy birthday, of which you're only hearing this after your birthday. I can't really say I care much about Brave. I've actually only seen it once, and it tried all its might given its infamous change in directors, but just couldn't quite reach the potential. It even used to be my least favorite Pixar movie until Lightyear made me reconsider. And you know how much potential felt locked away from this movie? Because of the existence of the Legend of Mordu, which goes over the aforementioned beast's origins and how it turned from a power-hungry prince. How he couldn't handle sharing the kingdom equally with his brothers, caused a war, and tried to change his fate by getting the power of strength, only for it leading to him turning into a bear and killing his brothers. The amount of lore and effort put into this, as well as the art direction displayed here, it makes you kinda mad this is relegated to a DVD extra, and it's only emblematic of how much the movie felt compromised for a more family-friendly viewing. Heck, this short's ending is emblematic of Disney going, crap, we're getting too serious, we gotta break the tension. Whatever, still a good short film, especially for having come from such a mid-movie. Mr. Incredible and Pals is the lesser-remembered short from The Incredibles DVD bonus features, a cartoon in The Incredibles universe that was cancelled when the superheroes were outlawed, and this is its only episode produced. As you can see, they went completely in on reflecting old low TV budget cartoons, most notably Clutch Cargo, with the animation just being still frames and live footage of the actors' mouths, the characterizations of the patriotic heroes and the communist-style villain, the cute animal sidekick that does nothing of contribution, and that's not even getting into what they did to Frozone. Not even just the whitewashing, but with all the blatant racism old cartoons thrived in, with the forced beatnik slang, him being the damsel in distress so the white superhero can save him, and of course...
Yeah, you're holding the rabbit's hand. That's better.
Oh yeah, the movie's DVD also features an audio commentary of Craig T. Nelson and Samuel L. Jackson playing their characters and reviewing the episode, with Frozone absolutely aghast and trashing every aspect I just mentioned, and Mr. Incredible trying so hard to be optimistic and making excuses for it. I highly recommend checking out this short and commentary, which you can find on YouTube. Wow, we're already at another Incredibles short. Auntie Edna is basically Jack Jack Attack 2, but now with Edna mode. Though here, she is enamored over discovering all of Jack Jack's powers, and it does offer a cool opportunity to see our favorite Incredibles character study all of what this baby has at his disposal, and some really fun animation for all his different powers, which means that once again, I'm mad that all of this creativity is relegated to a mid-cool short. We don't see Jack Jack do half this stuff in Incredibles 2. My big thing about that movie is that it feels so much more like a pilot movie for a TV show rather than an everlasting next chapter. It really sucks the way it lost a year of production, and I can only imagine all of its lost ideas. And yeah, there's the more likely chance that we'll get to see him do them in the next movie, but they should not have made us wait years to see that happen when they could have easily displayed it in the previous movie. But for what it's worth, it's still a really cute and funny short that's also better than its movie, which goes to show how I rank these shorts is not indicative of what I think of the movies. Mater and the Ghost Light is the starting point for all the 10 million Cars shorts Pixar would make, but for now we just had this one short film centered around Mater and a throwaway line he had in the first movie. I don't feel like this short would be as memorable if it wasn't a Cars short. The first movie already had such a classic Pixar charm and Americana personality that I like seeing these guys in little shorts. Honestly, stuff like this and the Mater's Tall Tales shorts bring out a lot of that off-the-wall humor that you don't get from Pixar too often. Sheriff telling the ghost light story, bringing that eerie vibe, and immediately following it with that "well, good night" always slays me. As well as Doc also doing it at the end when he brings up a screaming banshee and then it actually shows up in the end credits scene, but it doesn't register to Mater that it's him. Yeah, I don't know, I just really like this short and the Cars franchise overall, in all honesty, and I feel more people will recognize that if they recognize what it has to offer outside of Cars too. Bet you never heard of this one, huh? Exploring the Reef with Jean-Michel Cousteau is a documentary short film about the various things that happen in the coral reef, including the creatures that inhabit it, its bleaching, its reproduction, and how we must all put in the work to preserve its beauty. And also Marlin, Nemo, and Dory are here to make some jokes and annoy the aforementioned Jean-Michel Cousteau. You'd think this would make the short less fun to watch, but you'd better believe it doesn't. The Finding Nemo movies always had some of Pixar's best casts. I like all of Dory's remarks, her and Nemo pointing out the creep factor of algae living inside corals' bodies. The fact that Marlin is the one to instigate a dance party, this is like the most consistently happy I've seen him. He deserves it. And ending with them cutting Cousteau off by inadvertently explaining the message instead. I also really like the performance Jean-Michel Cousteau provides, with how straight he plays it when he's narrating like this is a real documentary, and how fed up he becomes with everyone. That makes it a really entertaining performance. This is another short that you can watch on YouTube right now, so I don't know, go ahead and do that. It's really good and stuff. Now, who is Bernie, you ask? He's the little guy that got locked out when Wally and Eve went back into the Axiom, and this is a short on his perspective. One of Wally's great attributes was that the robots were mostly non-verbal, which meant we got to see them express themselves through their designs, animation, and subtle personalities, so making that a silent short film was a no-brainer. I like seeing this little robot get into problem after problem that were inadvertently caused by the movie's events, and the comedic timing helps it a long way. I also really like Supply R, he's also funny. This short really gets you to wonder why there weren't more Wall-E shorts. Like I said, the robots barely talk, so you don't really need to spend so much on actors. I mean, Up came back for a short series a few years ago, so why not this? Get on it, Pixar! The Toy Story 4 short, Lamp Life, is technically the only Toy Story short that should count for this list, since it's the only one on the main list on Wikipedia. I won't beat around the bush, this one really won my heart. Just something about Bo Peep recounting to Woody about how she's been doing since they separated, as the flashback of all the places she's been is shot in one position with her in the middle for most of the time, just felt like such an interesting watch on the filmmaking alone. I even really like this adorably memorable tune that plays on Bo's lamp and is incorporated as the main theme for the score. Just an all-around solid companion piece for Toy Story 4 and Bo Peep's glorious return as a whole. You know, unless she doesn't return for Toy Story 5. Oh, and Bo is canonically on the run from the police. That's good to know. Partysaurus Rex is kind of the weakest of the Toy Story Toons trilogy, but it's still super fun. I like that for a change, Rex gets to be the main focus, and finding his own people where he can belong and be the king of his own castle. Because of the whole thing about him being, he's a T-Rex, but he's also an introvert desperately seeking approval. I just also love these bath toy designs. Toy Story was always the best for seeing all the different designs for all the characters, even all the minor ones, and seeing everyone's replicas of them. And man, these visuals go insane. Just seeing a Toy Story thing do a rave party, it just makes you really appreciate how off-the-wall Pixar likes to go with some of these, and I absolutely should have seen it in theaters. I mean, I played in front of Finding Nemo 3D, so why didn't I? Ciao Alberto is a Luca short that doesn't have Luca in it. Instead, it's about the movie's deuteragonist Alberto, living his life in Italy and working with Giulia's dad Massimo in the hopes that he can fill that father-shaped hole in his heart. It starts out as just a pretty good, cute short with some of the Luca characters, but the second half is what really elevates it. Alberto accidentally destroys Massimo's boat, and so he resigns out of shame that he's not a good employee. And just the way he hesitates for a second as he almost says he's not a good son, and then when Massimo keeps convincing him not to leave, does he accidentally call him dad? It's moments like this you just don't expect they'll actually confront. It's good stuff. And I just really like Massimo as a character. He's got that very intimidating, not always coming across design, but you really feel whenever he lets his guard down and opens up. He tells Alberto of an experience he had with his father where they were able to reconcile in the end, and so Alberto's father-shaped hole is finally filled. Now that's wholesome! This short really goes to show Pixar should just keep making content like the Luca stuff. Like, why is Coco getting a sequel and not Luca? Jack Jack Attack needs no introduction. We all know why this one's good. Seeing Jack Jack bond with Edna over his powers and ice and all, but it's so much more entertaining to see an outsider absolutely freaking out over discovering a baby has superpowers. It gives so much horror movie vibes, which just adds to the humor, not to mention a canonical Disney product that uses the term BS. And I gotta give props to the ending. The way it ends with Mr. Dicker removing Kari's memories and they just fade to black. A weirdly chilling ending for a Pixar short of all things. But it's stuff like that that's the reason why this one is so well remembered. Even to the point of the opening of Incredibles 2 completely rehashing the aforementioned ending. Hawaiian Vacation is the first ever Toy Story short, not counting Toy Story Treats, cause those were just ABC bumpers. This was the start of Pixar doing fun side stuff with the Toy Story characters between movies 3 and 4 with little shorts and TV specials. It's a lot of fun to see the toys just living their lives in their kid's bedroom as opposed to venturing outside, and I love that Barbie and Ken are in this. The Toy Story versions of Barbie and Ken were always so funnily charming together, so it's great that they get to be the focus, and I like seeing how everyone gets involved in the pretend vacation and wear different outfits than normal as a change of scenery. This is the final appearance of Chuckles. I love Spanish Buzz getting to come back, and Barbie and Ken are a converted role reversal couple. That's always good to see. And good thing too that Pixar uploaded it on YouTube recently for the franchise's 30th anniversary so I could easily download the whole thing. The Monsters University short Party Central is Pixar's second rave party short, only this one takes it even further and does more creative stuff with the idea. As good as Monsters University is and managed to be one of the all-time best prequels out there always was that initial question of why should the next Monsters Inc. movie be in a college setting because of how well defined the original movie's setting and personality was. This short gives that answer. Mike and Sully bring door stations to Uzma Kappa's party to help liven it up and steal all the food and guests from another frat party, and the doors take them through a married couple's bedroom, and this short does all it might to have this much fun with this idea and then some, and top that with a killer punchline and easily the funniest after credit scene in any of the shorts. Funny as all heck short that I absolutely should have seen in theaters. I mean, it played in front of Muppets Most Wanted, so why didn't I? Mike's new car, the one that started it all. And I honestly feel this one is a prime example of doing a lot with a little, cause all that happens is Mike getting a new car and he and Sully can't even take a drive in it because they keep screwing everything up. And yet all the jokes they put in work because it's so small scale, and Mike and Sully are like the most entertaining characters to see in a mundane scenario, with so many memorable bits. Sully trying out the adjustable seat, Mike trying to get the seatbelt on, I felt that. Mike calling Sully on the phone while being beaten to death inside the car, the Jungle Beat part, Mike's last straw at Sully being him accidentally removing the mirror. Monsters Inc. already lent a lot of itself to its beyond iconic humor, so it's no wonder why this was the movie where they started doing shorts on the characters from their movies. Small Fry is the best of the Toy Story shorts, cause I just think it has the most fun with the franchise's world and different sides of toys, as this one focuses on kids' meal toys, and a minifigure of Buzz Lightyear escaping from display to take our Buzz's place and get played with, and the normal Buzz's attempt to escape the restaurant lands him in a support group of discarded meal toys.
I mean, who wants to see an accurate depiction of the human nervous system when they're chowing down on a burger?
I'm kind of in love with this scenario, and I love every single toy that appears here and all their concepts and jokes. Most of them we only see for 2 seconds and they're more memorable than every single character from Lightyear. I vibe with Gary Grappling Hook, I want to give Lizard Wizard a hug, and again, love seeing replicas of these guys. The minibus subplot isn't as interesting, but I still like the little freak and that Teddy Newton is voicing him. His Pixar characters are always good. It's overall just really funny and cute, and I should have seen it when it was playing in front of the Muppets. Like, why didn't I? Oh yeah, and I gotta give a shout out to Zurg Belt Buckle. They're always good for a laugh. Man, I can't get over how good Your Friend the Rat is. This one's the best one out of all of them for being the one that does the most for just being a short. Being the longest at 11 minutes, an educational film hosted by Remy and Emile, explaining many historical events of how rats contributed to human society. It really made me learn a lot of fun facts about rats that I wouldn't have known about otherwise, presented mostly with the lovely UPAS hand-drawn animation, as this short is a throwback to a lot of Disney's old educational films, with other fun bits to show different styles like the silent film bit, the stop-motion animated bit, the 8-bit video game, and I always look forward to watching to hear Remy and Emile narrate it for the whole thing, and all of Patton Oswalt and Peter Stone's back and forths are always lovely. I like their little song, rare moment of Pixar's character singing, and the fourth wall break with the disclaimer especially gets me every time. Ratatouille was always one for pushing creativity amongst all of us, so it was only fair that its short film was the most creative one of the bunch.